Welcome all you +2 comedy modifiers back to the stream. Welcome back to the endless black void, and welcome back to Solving the Witness, a laid-back annotated Let's Play where we try to discover the deep underlining meanings behind the witness. And last time we were here, I was up here. This is the end of the keep, and I finally solved this puzzle, which did not activate another laser like I kind of thought it would, but so be it. So a few things I wanted to check out while I was up here. One, I promised in a video a while back that I would try to see the deer from up here, and you can't. You can't see the deer from up here.
Greetings, true believers. For more information on this mysterious deer, check out episode 7, Yin and Yang. Excelsior!
Two, one little thing that I started to notice is, one, we kind of have what kind of looks like an Easter Island head here. Like, I guess I'd have to like zoom in on it, but it kind of looks like an Easter Island head. Over here we have the Tree of Many Faces. Not seeing any faces from this particular angle, but I've realized in editing that a lot of my past videos, that's in the background. I don't say anything. Also, hello forever, or Kinky. Thanks for joining me for Solving the Witness. We're going to discuss some stuff. The other thing I noticed just as I went off the air yesterday, or last week rather, is the weird opening like V that's like right here. And you know, since we're paying so close attention to like the details here, I realized that this tree and this tree are reused assets. If you look, they actually mirror each other perfectly. Like, see this little stick that comes out and breaks into two? Well, there it is right over here. It's just flipped the other way. So, do I speak any other languages? I do not. I took Spanish in high school. I retained none of it. I traveled through Greece. I remember Afghanisto, which means thank you, and that's about it. Pretty well versed in Al-Bed, the language from Final Fantasy X. Yeah, that's just a little thing that I noticed, is that there is kind of also like this weird opening here and this weird like kind of symmetry going on here that kind of made this viewpoint seem important. I wasn't able to really draw anything else from it. It could also be that there was trees here that were then cut down to make the shadow puzzles work. So that's just another thought.
Here's another thought about this. I talk about how the assets mirror each other and the ideas in that area mirror each other. It's where you avoid the shadow versus when you follow the shadow. That also kind of represents the mirror quality of the keep that I'm currently standing in. On what would be the left side, based on which way I'm facing, there is the area where you have to walk through a maze to figure out a panel. In the other side, you figure out a panel by walking through the maze to complete it. It's reflective. Basically, the maze tells you the path on the panel. In the other area, the panel tells you the path in the maze. So again, this idea of reflecting the same concept is present in the keep as it is in the shady trees.
Hopefully, I don't need to speak other languages to solve the witness. Why do you ask? Is there a specific reason why you're wondering that? Will I make my way down dizzy staircase? I don't think I ever took the time to look out the windows. I'm just taking a peek out these windows. Well, I can't even take a good look out that one. It's too low. That's weird, right? Who built these windows like this? That's a weird shot. Where is that? Oh, I was just looking into here. Okay. Which, again, it is a weird area, this area. I don't see a lot of point to it. Don't know what I'm supposed to see here. But pretty sure I made this argument last time I was here, so we'll move on. We're making our way to the monastery. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today, as I have to... Whoops, I got lost in the maze. Oh no, I don't want to go into the maze. How do I get out of here? There we go. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream than usual because, this guy frightens me every time. I got to deal with some car stuff, but wanted to play a little bit today, as I love this game so much. Look at how full of lasers the mountain has become. I think the only lasers I have left are that one from the town, and then there's one here in the monastery, and that's where we're headed to now. So I believe. I know we got a lot of the monastery this is on. Interesting. We got a lot of the monastery environment puzzles, the ones that are up on the stairs. Why is this locked? Because you can see there's like 100 that you can make just with this guy. I don't think I did this one though. I don't think I did the easy one. Oh. That's because I'm not at a good enough angle. I forgot to get my my puzzle count as well, so my apologies there. Lemon. You can also tell like this is gonna be one, which I like. Alright, so last time, I feel like I couldn't get in here last time, or there was some sort of problem. But I'm in here now. Because I know we tried to do this earlier and it was just like not working. Oh, maybe it's because I missed this very obvious tree puzzle. Oh, this is interesting. So I have to make it one continuous line, but I have to hit both buttons, but this tree is in the way. So I want to do this. Yes, there we go. So now I can just do this. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Want you in my room. I don't know what this did. That made a lot. Oh. Look how beautiful. So, you know how I said that this looks like it's going to be something with these. Like you can kind of see it. There's definitely an environmental here. Just trying to establish where to get it to start. Maybe from the other side? Maybe I should actually be outside? No, it definitely has, and oh wow, this is clearly a cup. Interesting. Oh, there's tons of stuff here. There's a man reaching for the Grail, which is interesting because we did see that earlier. There's another like visual illusion of a guy reaching for the Grail, and then this one I think is broken. So I wonder what's in between the Grail and the man reaching for it. Maybe a bridge? This could be a bridge.
So I'm going to be jumping in to talk about this specific visual of the man, the broken area, and the Holy Grail a couple times. But I'm going to have to wait until later in the Let's Play to fully explain everything. But I do want to just kind of get the ball rolling with this because I find it very interesting. One is this kind of reflects the man reaching for the Grail that I will mention in the Let's Play. With the shadow in the other area where he's reaching for the Grail, but in the shadow he has it. This is kind of creating a very similar story here. This is a man reaching for the Grail. There's an obstacle in between him and the Grail that he wants. But in this case, the obstacle has been removed. Whatever was this middle panel in this kind of like comic strip that has been put on the walls is gone now. And in a way, you could say that, like, oh, he will reach his goal and achieve the Grail. Even though that is not the intent, that is now the new visual way to view this. There is no obstacle. He will achieve the Grail. I also want to point this out, because I never say it in the Let's Play, but in watching back and being editor Noah, I definitely see it very clearly. The man reaching, he's surrounded by fish. He's underwater. I want you to keep this in mind as I explain things later, but it's very clear that this man is underwater.
This is going to be a very talky area. This area is very strange. And I also, I know there's a thing I can do. I just got to figure out. Oh, did I get it? Oh, that's the there's this green spot on here that's making it not yellow, but there's that little yellow that I can. There it is. Oh, it's so close. It actually fits in perfectly. Blam. That's a cool one.
This environmental puzzle is very important because we were talking about the two kind of types of environmental puzzles. They're the ones that are appearing naturally, the ones that appear in the sky, in the clouds, in the trees, in the negative space of the trees, things that were occurring naturally. You know, the shadows that form from the trees and things like that. The idea that nature itself created these. Then there are the ones that I would say are man-made, the ones that are constructed, things like the bridges and the railings on that being an environmental puzzle, the stone slabs of the sides of buildings. These are all things that were created by man. And I was putting forth this idea of why would man want to create these? And because I voiced this in our previous episode, or 2 episodes ago, I'm not sure exactly, about the quarry. There seems to be something that is taken away, something that is destroyed to make a environmental puzzle work with light. There's something in the way and they need light to shine through in order to create this environmental puzzle. This really proves that man is interfering to create extra environmental puzzles. Because for this one, we have this yellow fruit and its yellow flowers that very naturally look like it should be an environmental puzzle. But it fails to be due to a little bit of green on the fruit. So to fix this, man, or us humans, destroyed whatever this was, this second picture that told whatever this story was, destroyed it, and included a little bit of yellow that fits perfectly in that spot of green on the fruit so that this could be created. So to me, this is very important because man, or human, I feel like I'm being gendered, a person saw that this was very close to being an environmental puzzle, destroyed what was there in the shrine or the monastery or the tree temple, whatever you want to call it, and placed or made sure that what remained had that bit of yellow on it so that this could be created. What this means is whoever is on the island, whoever was there before we were there, valued environmental puzzles. So this would imply that the person who did this wanted to challenge us, the player, wanted these things to be there for us to find and search for and attempt to solve. It would also imply that perhaps solving all of them would do something to the island in terms of these obelisks. So either you could make the argument that the more they are that are there, that are created, the more powerful the obelisk would be when it's created or when it's completed. So to power up this obelisk, extra puzzles were created, extra environmental puzzles were created so there would be more energy. On the other side of that, you could also put out the hypothesis that finishing an obelisk is bad. It's a thing that they don't want done because whatever happens when it's completed is not a good thing. So how do you stop the player from completing the obelisk. Well, what if the way to do that is to create more to be found? Like, if destroying an environmental puzzle doesn't make it harder to solve, it just removes it as a puzzle, and thus the obelisk is now easier to solve because that environmental puzzle is now missing. By creating more that are harder to find, you are thus creating another barrier between completing the obelisk and the player by putting this very difficult to find environmental puzzle here, because it requires a couple steps and the right perspective. By doing that, it's yet another obstacle to solving the obelisk. Basically, the two theories I'm putting out here are environmental puzzles are power, and by creating more, you're making it more powerful. And the other idea is kind of, I guess a good metaphor would be the obelisk is a lock, and by including more environmental puzzles, you're putting more locks on it. You're putting more barriers on it because you have to find another one by creating another one. Both could be valid. I don't think I know enough about what happens when you complete an obelisk and looking into it to really stamp my camp in either direction. But I think this is very definitive proof that someone is actively creating these environmental puzzles because they want more of them to exist. It also means that whoever did this valued environmental puzzles more than whatever this story was on the side of this temple, because they were willing to destroy the center of this comic strip, as I called it, the middle part of the story, in order to get the environmental puzzle. So the environmental puzzle is more important than whatever the story on the side of the temple is to them. I don't know if I agree with them. I think that the story, which I will discuss in more detail in an upcoming jump in, is very important and tells a very interesting story. I'm really building it up, so I hope I don't disappoint. But whoever did this believes that environmental puzzles are more important than whatever the story of the temple is. That I can pretty much concretely say.
Yeah, that's neat. All right. So I'm guessing this can be solved multiple ways. So I'm guessing if I solve it a different way, I will get different results. I guess this will open something up over here, maybe? Perhaps. It's closing for sure. So anything... Oh, that's opening. There we go. And here's, while we're waiting for that to open, here's another great visual. You got this weird thing that has a bunch of crawlings on it, but if you stand in just the right spot, yeah, it's a man playing the flute. But it only really works, it's hard to tell that that's even there without this giving it an outline. Man playing the flute. His feet are a bit weird, actually. Maybe it's a demon playing the flute. Yeah, he's got a chicken foot. Look at that chicken foot. All right, well, that's going to require research.
No, that's not just a man with a cigarette. We did this whole episode about how that is not just a man, that's probably a harpy. You can actually watch that episode called Perspective. That's episode 13 of Solving the Witness. But apparently, Player Noah completely forgot about that episode. It's almost like I recorded this footage before that episode came out. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what happened. There's a lot of time that goes between when I record these and when I edit these. You can tell because look how long my hair is. A lot of time has passed. But this is very important because I believe I have figured all of this out. Comparing what I saw in the first time we came to the temple and I totally screwed it up back in episode 13 Perspective and this episode, I think I can definitively say what that is. I don't think it's a harpy. That's kind of where I fell on at the end of that video, that it's probably a harpy. I don't think it's a harpy. Instead, I believe that is a siren. That's something that I kind of brought up, that I was like, maybe it's a siren, but I have new evidence. There's actually another illusion on the island. It's both an illusion and allusion to this. On the other side of the island by like Symmetry Island, there is this perspective illusion, which shows a siren just kind of sitting on the rocks. This is all in reference to the story being told here, in my opinion. This, in my opinion, is all a reference to the Odyssey. Now, I actually say in another episode, I don't remember which one it is, I got to go back and look, that there is very few allusions to Greek mythology. A lot of the allusions and references here are to Christianity. There are some to because like an Arthurian legend with the Holy Grail, and also Buddhism and things like that. But there's not a lot of like Zeus, despite the fact that in a previous episode I was like, is that Zeus's lightning? I feel like there was a removal of the idea of Greek and Roman mythology until now, because I 100% believe that this whole area is a reference to the Odyssey. Here, and specifically the siren section. Here's why. If you go outside and look at this box that's holding the laser, you see, using sunlight, that there is a man that I will later in this Let's Play say is reaching down. He's clearly drowning, because on the other side of this box is a ship that I'm going to say is Odysseus' ship. And a man fell off the boat and was lured into the deeps by the siren. A siren is often described as being part human, beautiful woman, and part bird, which I know doesn't seem to make a lot of sense because we're on the ocean. They usually get tied to like mermaids, but no, they're usually a combination of a bird and a beautiful woman. And you can see here that this creature has like talons, like bird-like features. I believe this is a siren, and I think a lot of people are confused or misinformed about what the sirens actually promise Odysseus. What happens in the story is you're not supposed to listen to the siren's song because they will lure you to the deep. So you're supposed to cover your ears. Odysseus wanted to hear the siren's song. So he has his men put wax in their ears so they can't hear what the sirens are saying. He is then tied to the mast so that he can hear what the sirens say. He wants to know what their song sounds like, but he wants to make sure that he's not tempted to dive overboard and drown, so they tie him to the mast. But here's what the sirens actually say. Let me pull up a direct quote. Here's the direct quote from the Odyssey. "Come here," they sang, "renowned Ulysses," or Odysseus, it depends on your translation there, "and listen to our two voices. No one ever sailed past us without staying to hear the enchanted sweetness of our song. And he who listens will go on his way, not only charmed, but wiser. For we know all the ills that the gods have laid upon the Trojans before Troy, and can tell you everything that is going to happen over the whole world." I don't know why I've always thought this, but I thought, like mermaids, they tempt sailors into the ocean through like sexual prowess. Here, they are tempting Odysseus with knowledge. And the big symbol of knowledge that I've railed home over and over and over again in these videos is the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail represents knowledge. So, here's the whole story of the temple. The boat goes through the water. A man drowns when he hears, or is lured into the water. when he hears the cry of the sirens that we see by looking through the holes of the tree temple. We then cut to the side of the temple. We see the man underwater. He is desperately reaching out to what? The Holy Grail, which represents knowledge, what has been promised to him by the sirens. But we don't know is what happens in between him reaching and the Holy Grail. My belief is what is there is the sirens killing him. I believe that this is the man drowning. That is the missing panel, is that he does not reach the Holy Grail that is right there because of the work of the sirens. So this plays into a theory that I've brought up many times, that we are not supposed to be seeking the knowledge, that seeking the knowledge will destroy us, that is a frivolous pursuit. Do not pursue the knowledge, you will drown in it. I think this is a message that has been brought up many, many times in this playthrough, and I've pointed it out every time. However, that scene has been removed. It is broken. So you could take this one or two ways. One is we're hiding that part of the story. We're hiding, oh, you'll drown, like the sirens themselves do. And just showing kind of the good parts. The man comes in, he ends up in the water, and then he gets the grail, the knowledge that he wants so much. So it could be a bit of the sirens kind of being deceptive and hiding the part where it kills you. But that also seems counterintuitive to the story that we tell with the Shadow Man when he's reaching up, but he actually has it. The idea that he does achieve the knowledge that he wants by achieving the grail, he's just unaware of it. By removing the center part of this story, the part where the man drowns reaching for the knowledge, we can now instead tell the story of the man jumping out, being lured by the sirens into the water, being underwater, and then reaching the grail. We've removed the part where there is a failure. So this does really reflect the idea of, from the right perspective, the goal is achieved. The knowledge is learned, but you have to look at it differently. And what's been done here is the part of failure has been removed. The story is now different. The man goes overboard, ends up underwater, and gets the Holy Grail, the knowledge that he seeks. That's what I think this whole area is. I think this is a reference to Homer's Odyssey, and that these are sirens, and they lure a man into the deep water in search of knowledge. What we now have to decide as a player is, do we succeed or do we drown? Is this a fruitless endeavor that ends in our death, or will we achieve the knowledge? That missing panel could really go either way. So that is my big theory for this video. I'm very excited to tell you this. I think this whole thing is Odysseus and the Odyssey. Granted, it might not be specifically Odysseus. Odysseus is the best story about sirens to use as a reference here. But in the Odyssey, they also talk about how tons of sailors died. So perhaps this isn't Odysseus' ship. Perhaps this is just another ship that has led across the ocean and sailors have died. I will also say that this brings our shipwreck count up to 3 on the island. We have the shipwreck that's being shown here in the shrine. We have the big orange boat, the big orange ship that is destroyed that has environmental puzzles and one of the doors on it. And then we also have the wooden boat that is crashed right outside the underground area of the mountain. You can kind of see this broken boat. So the motif of shipwrecks is very present on the island. And based on the temple, we can now say that a shipwreck represents being destroyed by the search of knowledge. This series might end with just me dying on stream. Like, wouldn't that be fitting to what I'm talking about here? Wouldn't that be fun? subscribe. Maybe that'll happen.
Okay. All right, so I think it's clear what we got to do here, right? Open that bad boy up. Once again, I want to state that you're looking through a tree. So once again, trees and knowledge. Remember, here's another one. There's another tree of knowledge. All right, I'm just going to find the right spiggity spot. That looks like a good one, right? Yeah, that makes sense, right? Blam, 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 blam. No. Fascinating. Oh, and I gotta do this one again. I hate when they do this. I know it's the safeguard so you don't brute force it on the other side of the wall and think you have it when you don't, but still hate it. I mean, is that not what I just did? That was what I just did. Don't know why it's wrong, though. We're going to have to figure that out. What's wrong with this? Is there another way to kind of look at this? I mean, is there another spot that could be seen as like the starting point? Because that looks like such a, like there's like a round thing there, so it looks very obviously to be the starting point. God, it fits so perfectly. What other ways to look at it? Like, I guess we could do like this. Maybe like that. No, because then I can't get to the ending. You know, I think start here and then get down, but I can't. It's like the only spot. Do I still look at it through this, maybe? Is that the trick? Ah, maybe. It still doesn't get me to an ending, though. I can see almost all of it through that leaf, but it doesn't tell me anything. Is it this wall? Oh, this wall's all broken. So let's go look at it from the other side. Maybe there's like something I'm missing here. What's this? Those splinters? Some boards. Did a piece of this break? Is that what we're assuming? Just kind of looking at the shadow. Yeah, it looks like there's all right, let's look at this again. Okay, it kind of looks like there's a broken piece like here. So maybe it's saying I have to do this. And then there'd be a broken piece here, and then I have to do this. So maybe that's what it is? All right, interesting. So again,
I don't say it, but it's very clear from this shot. The broken pieces that I'm talking about that show the correct way, they're laying right there on the ground. So they're there. You can see them, but they are currently broken. So there are the pieces there. There is the evidence. Great little detail here in the witness.
We discussed the idea that nothing changes on the island without the act of another person, because nothing naturally changes. Though, there's a lot of stuff growing here, so maybe that I lean too hard on this assumption. But that would, if this is broken, it would then beg the question: who broke it? Was it broken intentionally so I couldn't solve stuff? Because not only is this broken, this is really broken. So the theory we're currently working on is the fact that this didn't like erode naturally. Someone had to have like come in here and like broken this, and this is that seems very hard to just break. All right, so it's like a zigzag, but like I gotta remember it's reversed. So it's left here, so it's right here first. So it's like. I think. How many turns are there? 1, 2, 3 turns. Okay. It starts going right first. We go left first. Right? Left first. So we go right first. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Using the noggin, solving the puzzles. So yeah, this finally powered these guys, which is good. But let's go ahead and try to solve the puzzle the other ways. Is there a way that I can do it like this? There we go. So these guys close now, these trees. And then these open. Ooh. Let the sun shine in. I think these started open. This is not special at all. So we got one more we can do. Boom, boom, boom. Open these guys up. I want to see. Yes. So there goes our chance to see the flute player ever again. This is interesting because what this implies is, since now we know that there's like this grating here, that like while it kind of looks like, because it looks like it here, like the rust kind of just happened naturally. Like this kind of looks like rust, which I know goes against my theory, but it does. It looks like it rusted away. Someone had to actively cut in these holes to make the illusions work, so you could actually see through them. So that's something to ponder. Something to ponder. Let's go ahead and start doing these. I'm gonna guess we're gonna have to look through some twigs. Yeah, look at that. Look how nicely that kind of fits. What? Oh. Or maybe not super nicely. There we go. That should work now. Blam, 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 blam. And oh, wow, double up on the puzzles here. We'll just do it like this. Seems a bit weird, but I'll try it. No, okay. Maybe if I go over a little more. There. This seems suspicious. Problem is I don't know where it starts and where it ends, and like where does this line up right? And once again, to go back to my dead horse I keep beating, trees grow. There's a fact for you. Trees, in fact, grow, which would mean that at some point this would stop working as a solution. I'm hitting stuff. All right. Maybe here, and up, and over, and here, and then around like this. Yeah, this puzzle is only solvable if that tree never grows. And we know that trees tend to grow. Little staircase. Oh, interesting. So this is the kind of the opposite. It's telling me what to do, but I have to memorize it. Because I have to follow the sticks. Because look at this. You see this knot here? It fits so perfectly into this. So it's going to be 2 to the left, 2 up, 2 to the right, down, and around. Okay, 2 to the left, 2 up, 2 to the right, 1 down, back to the right, up 2, all the way to the left, right? All right. Cool, so 2 to the left, 2 up and around, 2 to the right, down, back to the right, back up, all the way to the left. Big brain. Okay, so this looks to be the same way. There's the knot, so it kind of fits there. But then it looks like it kind of separates. And it looks like the end of this is coming down here and then this. But, oh, maybe that's what that broken stick is. So let's look at that as, well, here we go again with me saying shit's broken. So it would be here, 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 and then staircase. Where's the end of this? No, it goes all the way up. So it goes here, and then it'll staircase like this, maybe? Maybe that could work. So it's 2 to the left, 1 down, 2 to the left, 2 down, 1 right, upright, 1 right, down 2, and then staircase over. Think that makes sense? Just look at it again. Alright, so it goes here, 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 and then there's the stairs thing, and then it's here. Wow, okay. So if you're not following, it's a little bit easier to see now that the correct path is lit up. I followed the stick down this way, just like this, and then I had to insert this middle section based off of this stick that has broken off of the tree. So again, saying that like trees grow and stuff like that, but it would also imply that something broke the stick. We've tried to establish that nothing naturally changes, so that would have had to have been the action of someone. Though me as a person in the game, I do not have the ability to like break stuff. So what did this do? Guess we're going outside. Yeah, look at my monolith that has a lot of the stuff done. Oh, and this is open now. Hooray! Is this what? Yeah, now I can go over this way. Thought I saw environmental. Ah, here we go. Is this done? Is that, oh my gosh, am I really about to just light this laser already?
Just want to point this out really quickly. A couple episodes ago, I talked about the design of the box on the top of the mountain and how the symbol for the shrine area is like this weird cross. And I was like, I don't know why I feel like this is representing the shrine, but I definitely think this represents the shrine because it's a thing you look through. That is exactly what's on this box. On this box is that cross symbol, but it's not printed on the box. You look through a grating. So I thought that was an excellent way to give a shout out to the shrine on that box to represent the shrine with this cross, because that's what the fencing looks like when looking through it to see the laser box. Thought that was excellently done, and I wanted to shout it out here.
Oh yeah, baby. Speed run. Smartest man alive. Go ahead and go shoot that. So I think that leaves only the town left as the only laser I haven't done yet. I'm gonna have to think of a new game soon. Oh no. So that's gonna fire soon. If I recall correctly, there is an environmental that you can only see by running on these rocks. So this will give us a little bit of a view of the laser, which is currently activating. Yeah, look at it go. Boom! Right through the tree.
So I just want to bring up this little thing that I found interesting here is the laser goes through the tree. And there is an old myth, Mythbusters even did it, that in golf, trees are 90% air. So if you were playing golf and you had the choice of going through a tree or going around a tree, you should actually hit your ball through the tree, because there's a 90% chance it won't hit anything because it's 90% air. So it won't hit branches because there's only 10% branches in a tree. So it's a bit ridiculous, I know, but I did want to bring it up because I find it interesting that this laser perfectly goes through the tree without hitting anything. Mathematically, according to Mythbusters, that's the most likely option. But it made me think back to another theory I said before, that I'm not the first person to go through this trial on this island. It would make sense that there was a time where there is something in the way of this tree, and it would be hit by the laser and break off. I find this idea especially interesting in this area, since there's a lot about things being broken, things being broken off and changing. So that concept kind of being slightly hinted at here I thought was interesting. I'm also curious if the hole it goes through is actually what is allowing the light to shine through to make the illusion of the man being drowned. If that is true, it's interesting that the laser has no effect on this, but I guess they are both light, so I guess light hitting light wouldn't really affect a shadow, or the opposite of a shadow in this case. But I definitely found this to be an interesting choice to have the laser go through the tree, and I wanted to point it out.
I should also mention that, like, the shadow creates this person that's reaching down. But yeah, there's clear. Here it is. Can kind of. There it is. Right here. Bablamo. So yeah, that's a good chunk of this game. So we're going to do one more laser before we can access the mountain. And before we even consider going into the mountain, we got a bunch of other cleanup we got to do. We got to get the rest of the environmentals. We have to, because I already did this guy, yeah. We got to find the rest of the discarded panels. We got to make sure that we got all of the audio clips. And we also... Cool. Audio clips, monoliths in the environmental puzzles, and discarded puzzles. Yeah, and then we go into the mountain. So, like, there's also some stuff I wanted to do. Oh, wait, here's one. This is clearly one. There's also a bunch of other stuff we had to do in the windmill, because we have a bunch of new videos that we got to watch, so we got them to talk about. So, as much as this looks done, we are not done. I mean, we'll end by taking a quick peek at some monoliths. How about that? Because, oh, come on. We have the monolith over here that I had been working on because a lot of them were this staircase. And look how close to done that is. That's looking good. I gotta like swing around to get up there. There's some audio stuff, but we already got those. Just want to check in on this monolith real quick here. Alright, so yeah, you can kind of see if you look, there are some like gray outlines of the ones that are missing. So I'm only missing a few here. It's not the full, like it doesn't like go all the way down to here. So I'm missing a handful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at that one. That's a wild one. Yeah, so it looks like I'll listen to the tones of this. There's like a weird like hum that comes with the monolith, which is interesting. And I just wanted to quickly compare because I saw one in the distance on the other way. I love that I know I said this before, but I love that they include a run button in this game that's supposed to be about like slowly observing your surroundings. Like using the run button at all is kind of a going against the logic of the game. Here I am. Running. Yeah, this was actually pretty good too. It's like I'm missing some of the more just simple wispier ones. Like these curvy ones, they tend to be like very naturally occurring, and then the sharper ones tend to be from like structures.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Solving the Witness. I feel like I talked a lot, so let's go through the takeaways very quickly. First off was the idea of the mirrored methods, the shady trees and the keep having basically the same concept being taught in opposite reflective ways based on where you are in the area. I think that's pretty clear, and I think I'm correct in saying that, but what are your thoughts on this? Is there more to it? Does this happen somewhere else on the island that I didn't pick up? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Also, we got to talk about the Sirens. This is one of the few times where I'm really feeling like I'm definitively correct, that this is telling the story of sirens luring people into the deep to drown for the search of knowledge. The big question, though, comes from that one destroyed panel in the comic, that centerpiece. What do you think that was? Do you think it's the man dying? That is my thought. It's the man being drowned by a siren. Do you think it is something else? Why do you think it was destroyed? Was it destroyed to hide the meaning of the story? To change the meaning of the story? Or was it specifically just to create an environmental puzzle? And if that is the case, is it so that the obelisks become stronger by having another puzzle added to it? Is it just to challenge us, to make it more difficult for us to finish the obelisk, and the obelisk should not be completed because it is some sort of lock, as I like to call it? I find that center missing panel to be so interesting. So please, 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 please sound off. What do you think it was, and why do you think it was destroyed? I think this is key information that we need to figure out. Then we have the broken pieces on the ground, which I think are just kind of cool and great little details. Are there any of those that I missed that you want to shout out? Let me know. There's the design on the box, which I think is very self-explanatory, but it's a takeaway. So take this away. The grading that you look through is matching the symbol that's on the box at the top of the mountain. And then finally, trees are 90% air. That laser going through the tree. Does that mean anything? I think it's interesting. I think it's something worth discussing, but it could just be a fun little detail or just the easiest way to get the laser to the mountain. Let me know in the comments down below. I know this episode was a lot. I try to put a lot of work into this because I know you guys enjoy these videos. Thank you so much for watching. It's greatly appreciated. I just ask that if you want to pay back the favor, to subscribe to Plus 2 Comedy Gaming so you'll get a notification next time we try to solve the witness.